Your favorite light skin?
Got Tyler back with me.
Man, it feels good to be back.
It do. We back.
What's going on, James? It's been a little minute.
Shit, it been a minute, man. It's been a minute.
Bro, that's Super Bowl, bro.
Super Bowl was kind of crazy.
That Super Bowl was crazy.
I was fucking with Philly. You know, most of the homies, they Philly fans, so I was like, I'm going to rock with Philly. But then, I never count out my homeboy.
Yeah.
Just can't count him out.
See, like with me, I don't know, too much of the game of football, but, I'd be, watching here and there, and I'd be seeing, Philly had a crazy season. People was talking down on Hurts, feel me? So I was, seeing him as an underdog, and shit, I was just watching Mahomes. I mean, it was a good game overall, so I was kind of rooting Philly. But, Mahomes, like you said, Mahomes is my homeboy. He going to score. He's going to do what he got to do. He's
they gave him $500 million for a reason.
Yeah. How long is that contract? 10 years?
It's a 10-year.
10-year, $50 million each year?
Something like that. You get a certain amount guaranteed up front.
Yeah.
And then the rest is, over the years. And then a lot of it depends on, your accolades, too. With the Super Bowls he wins. He won MVP and Super Bowl this year. Yeah. So, you get, incentives and shit like that.
You get bonuses and shit like that.
I know the winning team, whatever team wins the Super Bowl, each player gets $1 million bonus.
Word?
Yeah. So each player on the Chiefs that won, they won the Super Bowl, they get a $1 million bonus.
That's crazy. But now that shit was a good game. Personally, I mean, we all gonna have our own opinions on it, but personally, I feel like the refs was kind of pulling the strings on that game. Some of them calls are kind of bad, like that fourth quarter call before the game, that holding call. I seen a real good interview on one of the ESPN guys talking about it, and he was basically saying it was real smart. He was basically saying it wasn't the right time to do that type of call in that big game moment, because it was a couple minute left.
It was a couple minutes left.
Enough time for at least if Philly got the ball, enough time for them to score and maybe even the odds out. But he was basically saying it wasn't the right time. It's kind of because everyone kind of taps and touches, so it's it can go both ways though.
It was a technical call, so obviously if we're going by the book, after 5 yards you can't touch the receiver. Yeah. So he did touch him after 5 yards. Now the other part, the reason why I think it was a bad call was because he did touch him, but there wasn't enough movement to fuck him up from making the catch.
It wasn't enough movement to affect the person on offense.
Exactly.
He usually tapped him, but that was it.
Yeah, usually when they make those type of calls, there's enough contact. You could see, you altered him so he can't make the catch. That's a good call. But he did tap him after the 5 yards, so that's the rule. But it wasn't enough there to make that interference call. So.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the things that kind of showed me. And then also they tried to go against I forgot what's the name. His last name is Smith, I think, on Philly.
Oh yeah, Devontae Smith
with that they tried to say that he didn't catch the ball fully or something like that. Remember we were talking about it?
Oh, you talking about Goddard, the tight end.
Not that one. It was the one before that. Remember he Jalen Hurts threw it, Smith caught it, but then when he hit the ground, it kind of bounced out or something like that.
Oh yeah, he didn't bring it all the way through clean.
Yeah, or something like that. I don't know.
It gets technical. It was still a good game on both teams. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I'm not mad with who won just based off of experience. I mean that's what comes into play too. Mahomes, he been in those type of moments before. He's been down in the Super Bowl, came back. You know what I mean? This is his third Super Bowl. Yeah. So.
And you can see a pattern, too. Even with, this year's Super Bowl, last year's NBA Finals, the dudes who've been in these situations before, Golden State last year, that was, their, I don't know, fourth or third final. Those are...
I think there was their fifth
final or something like that. But
they won four.
The people who've been in that situation, they can fill those shoes because they know it's been Mahomes. He know what's that situation like, even though his ankle and all the above. But he's been in that situation. So I mean, I'm not saying it was an upset or I wasn't expecting it. I mean,
it was a close game. It came down to the end.
Since Tom Brady's retired, you can kind of say that Mahomes is probably one of the best or the best quarterback in the league right now. You could put that out there.
Nah, he is the best in the league right now. I mean, there's other quarterbacks that are great, but at the level he's at, he's in the playoffs every year. He's in MVP conversation every year.
Yeah.
And then now he's been in 2 Super Bowls out of the last 4.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's kind of in the Super Bowl getting there every year, too.
Yeah, so I mean, shout out to him. It was a real cool thing to see 2 brothers, since they're both black, both quarterbacks going against each other. It's the first ever time in Super Bowl history. And this is the first ever time that a black quarterback got MVP and then won the chip, I think, right?
Yeah.
So that was big, too. But it was a good game. It could have went either or, to be honest with you. The only thing I was kind of not upset was like the halftime show. Like, people hyping up the Rihanna and all right. Yeah, I mean, Rihanna,
I don't want to say it was hyped up.
I want to say it's hyped up.
So go ahead. What's your opinion on the halftime show in full?
So my personal opinion on the halftime show would be something like, okay, yes, we're talking about Rihanna, one of the most influential female artists in the decade or so, over the decades. And yes, that she's a very influential artist and but I feel like it could have been, she could have been up there longer. Maybe she could have done different. I feel like it wasn't very, like the Weeknd halftime, like that was fire. You see how he was interactive. He was walking through like the maze and a whole bunch. It was like an actual show. Like the Rihanna thing, like no hate on Rihanna. I love Rihanna. She's really dope. But I just feel like,
I think the only thing with my only thing is the performance wasn't as energetic just because she was pregnant.
Yeah, which is another factor.
She did bangers, so the songs alone, it was still a good performance.
Oh yeah,
but obviously the halftime show is you're there for the hits. Mm-hmm. So she did do the hits, which the songs were good. She sung them well, but she just didn't have that Rihanna energy that the dancing and moving around that everybody's used to.
Yeah.
So that was my only thing is she was pregnant during the performance, so that's why it wasn't great. But I think everything else, if she did it again and wasn't pregnant, she would come with more energy, and I think that's the only thing that made the difference.
Now, that's facts. Like I said, I'm not hating on Rihanna. I love Rihanna. She's a great artist. But like you said, that's another thing. And then plus, I was talking to my friend about it today also. I heard out that she did it for free. I don't know if this is 100% true, but I heard that she didn't
take the money. She donated what they was gonna give her to a charity or
right?
Something.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So I mean, not to say that's a point, a part that maybe not affected, but I think probably the biggest thing, like you said, was the pregnancy, her being pregnant, not being able to move, because Rihanna is usually she knows how to dance and stuff like that, so she knows how to move.
She's an island girl. So.
Yeah, she's an island girl, so she knows how to move. But now it was still a cool halftime show. And then, pretty much that's my little gist on the Super Bowl and stuff like that.
Yeah, now it was cool. The commercials still kind of get me. The last couple years, some of them are good, but some of them seem kind of forced or it's just not as great as how it used to be. Mm-hmm. The commercials used to be a huge part. It's 3 components of the Super Bowl. It's the game, it's the halftime, and it's the commercials.
Yep.
But I feel like this year, the order would be the game first, Rihanna, and then the commercials last.
Yeah, that's facts.
The commercials weren't that good to me.
The commercials this year, they were all right. Over the past years, like you said, they were better.
Yeah.
Recently, they've been okay. It's getting to the point where they're kind of cheesy, and like you said, they sound kind of forced, especially on the certain especially on the fashion. They try to make it hip and make it relative to the generation, but I don't know. I think it was all right. Commercials are going to be commercials to me, but I feel like they used to be better, though.
Yeah. Now, overall, I think, the Super Bowl was cool. Obviously, you get to see, the superstars and everybody come out. I haven't been to Phoenix yet, but Phoenix seems like a dope, location.
Yeah.
They've done it there a few times, actually. So, yeah, the location was cool. Next year, it's in Vegas.
Oh.
Yeah, next year, it's in Vegas in the new Raiders Stadium.
That's big.
So that should be crazy.
That's fire.
I don't know who they're gonna try to get. Everybody's saying Nicki next.
Vegas.
I'm not sure.
You can really get anybody.
Well, yeah,
because it's not
obviously the pool is open, but I'm saying how people go on Twitter and the gram and start their suggestions on who they want to see.
Yeah.
The only person they said Cardi B, and then they said Nicki. I would put Nicki over. I would put Nicki over Cardi B. Cardi B she'll do a Super Bowl, but
she'll do a Super Bowl at a decent job.
I don't think yet.
Now, if they did Nicki and Drake, I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like they did. Has Drake done a Super Bowl?
No, I don't think so.
No, right?
Nah, Drake hasn't done a Super Bowl. Nah,
that would be fire though.
Yeah. Well, because we were talking about it. Like everybody was like, well, why is it just like hip hop artists or R&B artists? And that's because Jay-Z is on the board with the NFL for the halftime show, so he kind of orchestrates a lot of that.
He has some pull.
Yeah, and obviously Rihanna, that's Rock Nation, so you already know how that goes.
It's all connected.
Yeah, but Super Bowl was great overall.
Yeah,
crazy fucking NBA like trades and transactions.
We can talk about that. That's crazy.
Nah, it's getting real. It's getting real. I think the best, to be honest, I have yet to see. I think they play tonight or maybe tomorrow.
What's today?
Phoenix.
Phoenix is today, yeah.
So KD practiced his first practice yesterday, so I don't know if he plays today or maybe tomorrow, but that's who I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see that mix because I think that may have been the best move.
See, like I'm 50-50 on that. Like when I seen that trade happen, I'm like, damn, like that's crazy. Because I mean, you kind of really wouldn't expect KD to do something like that. Go to the West he's been to the West before, Golden State. But as of like something like that, I didn't really imagine it personally. But I feel like even though that's a W on the Phoenix, like they got friendly like one of the best scorers all time. It's like they did give up some like good defensive pieces. Cam Johnson, Bridges, and then who else did they give up? I think Cam Johnson, Bridges, and I think some picks.
Yeah, it was like 4 picks.
Yeah,
it was like 4 or 5 picks.
But I want to see how that 3-peat is going. Those 3 guys. Personally, I think if KD doesn't help Chris Paul and D Book and all them, I don't think CP3 gonna get a ring. Like,
yeah,
Chris Paul. Well, Kevin Durant. He don't sign for a long time. So,
well, it was a trade, so he re-signed with Brooklyn last year, so he can get traded again or asked to leave, but I think he got 3 years with them, left on his contract.
Yeah.
So, but that move wasn't a right now championship move, and I think that's what everybody thinks it was. It's like, bro, you got KD and D Book and Ayton. Yeah. Those are the 3 that are like and locked in. Everybody's talking about Chris Paul. Chris Paul's like up in the air. I don't know how many more seasons he's gonna be there. It's cool for like probably this season and next season. But those other 3 pieces is like what you're gonna basically build around. And then everybody keeps acting like you're gonna have off season this year. Russell is still out there. They could sign Russell right now. Now you have Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook.
I thought
he's about to get bought out by Utah. He's they're not keeping him. They're gonna do a buyout. So, like, I think they're doing a buyout like this week, so he could sign with whoever. So you got to keep that in mind too. So that's big. So it's the trade, but then it's also other free agents that are like available to like sign.
LeBron's gonna be a free agent this season, right? This summer or no?
Yeah, I think so. He does like 1-year options, so LeBron does what he wants every summer.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like,
but that move leaves it open for other people is what I'm getting at, because what's his name just got bought out or is gonna get bought out by Houston. John Wall. He got traded back to Houston, but then he doesn't want to be there. They don't really need him, so they're gonna do a buyout, and they already talking about he's looking at Milwaukee and Phoenix. So you got to figure like pieces like that are just up in the air that you could grab somebody before the playoffs, like
because you don't need another superstar, you just need other little pieces. I mean, John Wall is a superstar himself. I'm saying like you say, you don't need a LeBron or something crazy. You just need other people. You already got KD, D Book, and Ayton, and then like you said, CP3's in the mix. I'm trying to think how they would do that 5, because
well, it's not even about them all being on the court at the same time. It's just like CP3 is on the end of his he's on the end of his run. So to have CP3 starting, right, and then have John Wall off the bench or have Russ off the bench is like you're good.
Yeah, I figured actually it wouldn't be the other way around. Because CP3 been there for a little bit longer, so I mean he's gonna be starting. But like you said, he's on the end of his career, so it's like even if he get out, I mean you got a good point guard to fill that position. So Russ and John Wall, those are 2 players too that play.
Derrick Rose is about to get bought out.
Yeah,
There's a few people available.
Yeah.
So
those are the type of players I don't mind sitting the bench, and then when they get on the court, they're gonna ball.
Yeah.
They don't really have an ego like that. So it was like,
so
a good pickup.
if Phoenix is able, because D-Book is out, he's hurt. KD tweaked something, so that's why he didn't play yet. So once both of those guys come back and they mesh, and obviously before the playoffs they'll try to grab somebody.
Yeah.
So, and then All-Star weekend this weekend. So
you
know that's when everything gets cooked up. When all the All-Stars are there, guys get to talking.
People talking smack and shit. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. What's your take on All-Star weekend this year? Have you looked into it?
I haven't tapped in, but I remember we was talking that you were saying that how they're not going to announce it until like the game starts, right?
So they announced the players. So like it's Team LeBron, Team Giannis, I think.
Okay.
So what happens is usually they go like a couple days before, they do the live picking on ESPN, but now they're doing it like a pickup game. So it's literally going to be live before the game starts.
Damn.
So like we were talking about like the chart and the starters. So they announce who the starters will be, but the starters aren't necessarily on a team yet. Those are just people that you know are going to start.
Yeah.
And then LeBron and Giannis are going to pick, you know what I mean, whoever they want, and it's going to go from there. So it's going to be like an old school like pickup game vibe.
That's
where
fine.
like everybody's standing there, yo, I got him, you got him, you know what I mean, and they're going to go back and forth. So that should be fire.
That's fire. I want to see the 3-point contest, and I want to see the dunk contest. I mean, everyone's looking towards that, but recently I feel like the dunk contest hasn't been like Zach LaVine, Eric Gordon dunk contest.
Yeah,
you feel me?
And no shade to them, but that's not even a great dunk contest.
Really?
Compared to like previous dunk contests, like I don't want to go like way back, but you gotta think like Vince Carter.
Yeah.
You gotta think like you know, who else? I mean,
Jordan did the dunk contest. That's when he did
Jordan,
that. He did his logo,
Dominique
right?
Wilkins.
Yeah.
It was a lot of like great dunk contests, you know, contestants that you know did some crazy dunks. I'm not gonna cut this year. I'm not gonna cut like this generation's guys short. I think it's still gonna be great. I still feel like, you know, we may see some shit.
Yeah.
But you know, I wanna see some more creativity.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to see the same dunks. Like it's like all right. These guys have evolved. The game has evolved. Like, a lot of y'all got bunnies. I'm trying to see something crazy.
Yeah. That's what we're all looking for.
But I think it'll be good. I like the skills challenge because the skills challenge they do they do like a guard, they do a big, and then they usually do like a OG. So and they usually try to keep it. Oh, they used to do a WNBA player too.
Really?
Yeah. So they'll do a WNBA player. Or like a retired WNBA player. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody current, but like it'll be a WNBA player, a point guard, and then they get like the bigs, like a forward or a center.
That's fire.
So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't seen like all the lineups of who's gonna be there.
I'm trying to imagine right now as we're speaking. I'm trying to imagine who would be in that dunk contest. Ja Morant.
So they got Mac McClung.
Mac McClung's fire. I remember his college. Those college clips
Troy Murphy III.
I'm trying to think of his name. He played in the Timberwolves. I'm Anthony Edwards, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's in the dunk contest though.
No?
Here, I'll tell you right now.
That'd be crazy. Because Anthony Edwards, he'd be catching some crazy bodies sometimes. I'm not even going to lie. But,
so yeah, it's Anthony. I don't think he's in there though.
Damn. Well, we'll see what's going to go on for that. But let me ask you this. Since
we're talking 3-point contest. 3-point contest is Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, Laurie Marketing, Tyrese Halliburton, Tyler Hero, Anthony Simmons, Buddy Hield, and Kevin Herterer. So I don't know. It's a pretty good.
Interesting.
Some good names in there.
Yeah, that's interesting. What you think about the East now? Because the West is pretty much looking crazy.
Yeah, so I think the East is open. I wouldn't say it's just the Celtics. Milwaukee's definitely still in the mix.
I'm tripping.
Milwaukee's always in the mix. Philly is still in the mix. You know, even though they're not playing great, they still got James Harden and Joel Embiid.
That's true.
They're in the mix. Who else? The Cavaliers been playing good too. Don't sleep on Cleveland. They're a young team, but Donovan Mitchell been going off.
You know, that crossover he did to that boy,
Yeah, he did him dirty. Unfortunately, he was on my team, but he definitely bopped him crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cleveland, I'm trying to think who else is decent this year on the East. I'm not sure, but I think it's gonna come down to like the Milwaukees, the Bostons, the Phillies. Atlanta is still always, in the mix, because you gotta remember now they do the what is it? The top 6 teams are automatically in, and then 7 through 10 is the play in. Mm-hmm. So it's like usually it's just the best 8 teams from each conference. Yeah. So now you're giving 2 more teams a chance. What I mean? Essentially 4, 2 on the East, 2 on the West, extra teams to play themselves into the playoffs. So I think it's gonna be interesting. We'll see what goes down.
That's crazy though. But damn, LeBron James.
That's your boy.
LeBron James.
That's your boy.
All-time leading scorer, NBA.
I respect it.
The debates have been in, James.
They've been in. I respect it though. I want to put that out there first, just because a lot of people the GOAT conversation is going to be ongoing when we're not even here. You know what I mean? So I want to put out there that as a basketball fan, I respect him winning the record. Yeah. I respect that.
But we were talking, because I know we had a good conversation the other day about it, and it came down to a point where we're like, it can really go both ways. There's
too many stats and accolades. There's too much that goes into it. It's definitely, there's no wrong answer. Right. It's definitely an opinion. It's an opinionated situation. Right. But it's kind of like it could go either way. Right. You know what I mean?
Because the fans that make the GOAT, there's no award in NBA saying this person is the greatest person of all time. It's a fan thing. So since it's a fan made thing, you're gonna have opinions on A side, you're gonna have opinions on B side. Yeah. So it can go either way.
What we had talked about though a little bit earlier was how we talked about how obviously your generation, a lot of guys, because they were asking, actually the NBA did an interview, or they'll interview the players and ask who's the GOAT, and I think they interviewed Shaq's son and somebody else, and they both picked LeBron over Michael. But like we were saying, if you didn't see Mike, if you didn't see Kobe, you can still have your opinion, but if you didn't see them play, it's you can't really give a full good evaluation. I feel like you would have had to at least see them a part of their career to be like, oh, okay, I know what Kobe was about. I know what Mike was about.
And that's the thing nowadays with my generation, the younger generation, that really didn't get to see, because with my generation, how I watched basketball, I kind of seen half of Kobe's career and on. So 24 Kobe. And then that's pretty much the rest of when I kind of started seeing basketball. And
that was Kobe on the back end. And even on the back end, Kobe got a ring in 2009 and 2010 and 2010 back to back.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, people in my generation, they're quick to say, "Oh, LeBron's a GOAT," and it's generational talent. So it's kind of hard to say, he's the best player of all time, but it can go both ways, and especially like you said, it's harder for us because our information, our judgment isn't as legitimate because we didn't see Jordan doing this, 9 and 3rd, and winning these chips, or Kobe doing that, and we're just seeing a stat line.
And I mean, you could go back and obviously you could look at highlights. Yeah, obviously everybody's seen The Last Dance. Yeah. So I think Kobe documentary is going to be coming out. There's a Lakers documentary coming out too. So I mean, there's definitely different things you could watch and go YouTube and see it. But with LeBron, we're seeing LeBron live year in, year out. We're seeing him during the season. We're seeing him in the playoffs. So I understand LeBron is the greatest player right now in this generation. That's not a question at all. You know what I mean? But like we said, being the greatest of all time, there's just so many factors that go into it. So many. And I don't want to be biased because I am a Jordan. Jordan is my GOAT, so I don't want to be biased, but we broke it down. You could break it down versus competition. You could break it down versus accolades. You could break it down versus years played. You know what I mean? It's a lot of different factors that go into it.
You could break it down to mentality. I mean, LeBron has that dog in him, but when I mean by mentality, I mean like if if you shoot that last shot and you miss, Kobe gonna smack shit out you type shit.
Well, it's not even that.
Like
you know,
just like like this Kobe don't
and
play
Mike
about that
played,
shit.
who was taking the last shot.
Yeah, that's true.
With LeBron, he's more of a team guy. He's still got that dog in him, but he's more of a team guy. He may make a pass over taking the last shot.
That's true.
But with Kobe and Mike, that wasn't a question. You know what I mean? So that's just, and I mean, that doesn't make you the GOAT or not the GOAT, but that's just like an intangible that those guys had that I think LeBron has, but he's more of a decision maker on the court. Yeah. Rather than, give me that shit, I'm about to take over. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's hard, man. I mean, the NBA is so different now too, like how people kind of judge it and how like people see what the game is now versus back then. Like back then, you wasn't having guards putting out from like 30, 35 feet out, shooting it. So like it's different. It's like you said, so many factors. It's kind of hard. There's no one direct answer.
It's a different game. It's definitely still the same level of competition, like across the board. Like obviously the NBA, that's the best of the best. Yeah. So obviously night in, night out, like you going against somebody that's just as good as you or better. Yeah. You know what I mean? Every night you going against the best guys. So I mean that in itself is hard. You can compare eras and compare, competition, and that's like up for debate. But Mike's era was hard, Kobe's era was hard, and LeBron's era was hard. You know what I mean? So it'll be up for debate for a long time because a lot of people go, off the rings. The rings is really, to be honest, and that's why I said I want to be unbiased about it, but that's literally why the championships are so important, because that's the only thing that's basically keeping the conversation going, if you think about it, is that one category of the championships.
Because if LeBron had more rings than Jordan, more rings than Kobe, hands down,
it wouldn't be a conversation.
It wouldn't be a conversation. But since, like you said, Jordan got 6, Kobe got 5, and then LeBron got 4, and then plus, like you said, LeBron's been in the season. He's been playing the game longer. He's been in way more championships. LeBron, I mean, every time Jordan was in a championship,
Jordan was in 6 finals and won 6, and then Jordan also three-peated twice. Yeah, so he won 3. Took a year off, came back and won the next 3
more. Yeah.
So it's just like I said, it's different scenarios. Obviously, you see the greatness in that, and then you have Kobe era where him and Shaq three-peated, and then after him and Shaq, because I think they won. What was it? So they won 3, and then Shaq left, went to Miami, and I don't think Kobe went to a couple more championships, but he didn't win again until
Pau Gasol, right?
Yeah, he didn't win again until 2009 and then 2010. Yeah. So I think Kobe went to like maybe 2 more championships and lost, because I know he lost to Boston.
Did he lose to Dallas too or nah?
Well, no, Dallas, that would have been Western Conference. That wouldn't be championship. They lost to the Pistons in 2004. Yep, they lost to the Pistons in 2004, and then I'm trying to think. Kobe played in another championship and lost. And then he won 2. So yeah, he lost to the Pistons 2004. Then he lost to the Celtics in 2008, and then he won 2009 and 2010. Yeah. So, but it's different. It's different eras. And then LeBron, he got to the championship. What was his first championship? 2005. 2005, he lost to the Spurs. Then he got back in, was it 2007? His first championship was with the Cavs. He lost to the Spurs. And then his second championship, I want to say, was 2007, but don't quote me. But then he went to Miami, lost to Dallas, and then beat the Spurs. He won 2. Yeah, he won 2 in Miami. Yeah, 2 in Miami. 2 in Miami, 1 in Cleveland, 1 with the Lakers.
1 with the Lakers, yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just different paths, different, competition, different scenarios, different teams. But the one thing that we was talking about the other day, that if you go back and look at championship history, a lot of the teams that won the championship were together a little bit. Like, the team was put together, and, they developed chemistry over a couple years at least before they won a championship. So that was like something that I didn't really pay attention to, but obviously we know LeBron been with a few different teams, but that was one part when you look at like Jordan era, Kobe, like when they won, the years they won, it was a team that was like developed for a little bit. Yeah. So that's something you could throw in there and look at that too. But
that's another deciding factor nowadays too, because like you said, like most people, like back then, when you were like on that team, like it was like a molding thing where you guys over a couple seasons you guys build chemistry to get to that level so you can win. Yeah. Nowadays, I mean, not to say it doesn't happen, but nowadays people are more comfortable, players are more comfortable like to bounce here, bounce there.
Yeah. But the guys that are bouncing around aren't necessarily winning multiple championships. Like you said, even current Golden State, it's been the same team.
Yeah.
It's been the same core. Other guys have switched around, but it's been the same coaching and it's been the same core.
Milwaukee?
You know what I mean? Milwaukee was a team that got built. Giannis got plenty of offers to go somewhere else. But him, Middleton, Drew Holiday, they played together for about 2 or 3 seasons and then won the championship.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I said, the core guys, that championship mentality, it takes the core guys to develop. Yeah, it's not an overnight thing. I mean, even with well, that wasn't really, they weren't really together, but even with the Lakers 2019 championship in the bubble, that wasn't like, there was all type of circumstances. Like people was dealing with COVID. It was, that was a tough year to win one.
Yeah.
But there's also scenarios that go into them winning too.
Bro, I hate when people try to short that championship. Like, okay, I get it. Like there was less games and it was COVID, but it's like, bro, like you can't take the ring from him, bro. It's he won the championship.
They still won. Based off whatever the NBA had set up to get to the championship.
Yeah.
So, like, the bubble. You had to go into the bubble, play. Then you still had, playoffs. And then you still got to win the games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
And it wasn't like when they played Jimmy Butler and them, it wasn't like it was a blowout. Like it was going back and forth.
Yeah, nah,
so like it wasn't like LeBron and AD just walked in the bubble and just took the championship. It's like they kind of fought for that, bro. Like Jimmy was balling.
They had an added fuel too. That was the year Kobe passed.
Yeah, so
it was an added fuel. And I mean, I don't take anything, from that championship. But like I said, when the seasons are different every year and it's always different scenarios, that's why the GOAT conversation is always going to be up for debate.
Yeah, it's going to be up for debate.
Because it's just too many different perspectives and different stuff that goes into it. Because like you said, some people like say, okay, yeah, that year the Lakers won, but it was a shorter season, but it was COVID. So he got the ring, but people are still going to downplay that championship. You know what I mean? So, and then even the ones that he lost, like when he lost to the Mavs, that was an old Dirk Nowitzki. That was an old Jason Kidd. I mean, a lot of people feel like he shouldn't have lost that one. You know what I mean? So it's all type of different scenarios, but all-time leading scorer in the NBA is crazy. That's a record that was held for 38 years.
That's big because I was going to ask you about it. It's big because like LeBron in that generic like area, he's the only person except for him and like KD and other current players, but LeBron's number 1 as of right now, and then KD's like what, number
15
14 or 15, and then that one between 1 and 13, those are all retired players.
Yeah.
And LeBron's at, 38, and then KD's at 15 with, 9. So it's it's crazy to think, that's not, that type of record, bro. It's crazy.
And a lot of that, like they were saying when they broke it down after he passed the record, is that a lot of that goes into durability and just being available to play. Yeah. Because LeBron did come out of high school. He's kept his body, in shape all these years. You know what I mean? He's played a lot of minutes. He's been in the playoffs damn near every year that he's been in the league. So that's basically an extended season. You got 82 regular season games, and then the playoffs is an extension. So those playoff points, go into him getting that record too. And that was the same thing with Kareem. He played until he was 42. Yeah. To break the record the first time. So, a lot goes into that. And LeBron's still playing. Yeah. So, I mean, if he plays 2 more seasons, 3 more seasons, whatever, he's probably going to at least add another 5,000 points on top of that.
Definitely, I mean, he's at 38K. I could definitely see him
42, 43.
His real goal, because I've seen a TikTok of it, his real goal, because someone was asking him, he was like, LeBron, do you think, when do you think it's time to throw the towel in? It's just like that. And he was just like, He said not anytime soon. He said I want to play with Bronny or something like that. He basically the general idea is that he wants to play with Bronny before he gets off the court, which I don't know. That's mad interesting.
Well, that'll be something else to add to his resume because no superstar of that level has played with their son. Yeah. Actually, I don't think any player has played with their son. Actually,
that's crazy.
Yeah, so obviously there's like you have Doc Rivers. He coached his son, but he didn't play with his son. And I'm pretty sure there's other scenarios where it may have been coached or your son got to the league, but to play with them, I don't think has happened before.
And it's crazy to think about it because it's Bronny is his senior. I think he already committed. What school is he going to? I forgot.
I don't think he committed.
Did he commit yet?
Nah.
I thought he committed already.
They said Oregon is at the top.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think
he's basically because his senior night was just about a month or two ago or whatever. So he's in his senior year, so he's going to commit to somewhere. Yeah. And obviously with the league and the rules now, you got to do at least a year in college to get to the NBA unless he does a G League thing.
You don't even have to go to college. He could go to the G League for a year and then come up. Yeah. But I think he's gonna go to college.
He's gonna go to college. He's definitely gonna go to college for sure.
Yeah. And then also, I mean, LeBron, obviously his hope is to play with him, but who knows? Bronny may want to stay 4 years.
That's true.
Know what I mean? Just because you're eligible after 1 year, a lot of guys, especially somebody like him, who, regardless of how he's his own person, his own player,
but he's gonna get drafted.
It's you're gonna go to the NBA. All they're gonna do is compare you to your dad. Yeah. So he may want to stay a couple extra years. Let me get all the way right. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean, and get my game to where it's at, so that when I come into the league, I could take over. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So who knows?
It's a lot of pressure. It's definitely a lot of pressure because if you're a Bronny, your dad is probably, like you said, one of the best basketball players in the generation. Huge accolade of achievement. It's a lot of pressure. So he might, like you said, that makes sense. He might take a couple extra years.
Yeah, he may do 2 years in college.
Perfect his skill, and then when he comes to the league, it's nah, I'm my own person. LeBron James is my father, but I'm Bronny. I'm my own person.
Yeah. So a lot of people trying to say Bryce is better. I think Bryce is taller than Bronny already. Yeah. Bryce is, I think, the same height as Bron right now.
Yeah, he's tall.
So, I mean, I haven't seen much. I have seen some highlights, and he could definitely ball for sure. But I honestly feel Bronny's holding back a little bit.
Think so?
I think a lot of people are underestimating him. They're expecting him to go out and bully people every night. And I feel like he's conserving himself. Yeah.
Well, see, one thing with that is too, I'm kind of on that spectrum where I see Bronny got the skill. He definitely got the skill, but I do see Bryce's talent too. But it's I'm not putting too much into it because at the end of the day, I got to see them ball in college ball. Yeah. College ball is different. You can beat up these high school ballers. I mean, not to say these guys aren't talented. These guys are great, but college ball is after that, it's you at the highest level. Everyone's at that level. I'm assuming is trying to make it to the next level. Majority, not everyone, but majority at that level of college ball wants to make it to the next level. So you won't play against some people that are nasty, can do this, down the third. So if he can outshine that, then I'll be all right, maybe,
It's an added competition in college. Growing up, when I played in high school, I always watched a ton of college basketball. College basketball, if you actually dive in and really, really watch it and keep up and, watch March Madness and the bracket, it's more competitive than what people think. They play real defense in college.
Yeah. It's more of a team sport.
You could be a bucket in high school, and then in college, you're just a role player. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or a lot of guys is extra nice in high school, and then they go to college, and it's you don't hear about them anymore. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a high level of competition in college. They play defense. They play zone defense, so it's not even a lot of man defense. It's kind of they're playing spots, and you have to beat people to the spot. Yeah, it's a lot that goes into it. You got college kids yelling and screaming. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean, at the games. It's a high level intensity game.
Because college, it's a bracket. You have to basically sell yourself as a player to be look, I'm worth these couple $1 million when you sign me to this team. You got to sell yourself.
And now, obviously, guys is getting signed right in college. Yeah, you know what I mean, with the NIL. So it's you got to market yourself. then you still got a ball. You know what I mean? So it's a lot added to it than when, you know, like a lot of these other guys was coming up.
Yeah.
Coming through college. You could come into college, you could play 2-3 years and you still kind of hold your level where you was at out of high school. You could be decent in college and then still go to the draft. But like now it's kind of like these top guys, like you have to come in that first year ball and then they expect you to go to the NBA and ball right away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like an added pressure.
And plus, like these kids in college now, like they're getting, like you can get endorsements now.
Yeah.
So it's like it's bigger. It's a bigger thing.
It's
now.
a lot more that goes into it. It's more business. It's more like branding and marketing of the players. But yeah, I think wherever Bronny decides to go, he's definitely gonna ball.
Yeah,
he's definitely gonna be on ESPN every week, whatever school he decides to go to. And I think he's gonna show up.
It's crazy for me because like LeBron is my generational player. Like when he got drafted to the league, like he got drafted in 2003. That's when I was born. So like when I kind of grew up watching Bron, so it's kind of crazy. Like today, I'm trying to imagine like him like retiring.
Yeah,
it's kind of like crazy to think about that.
Yeah, I remember when Mike retired. I remember when Kobe retired. Yeah. I mean, you remember when Kobe retired too.
I remember Kobe retired. Yeah.
But like, see, like we were talking about it. Like you didn't get to see number 8 Kobe.
Yeah, I know.
Number 8 Kobe was different.
Afro Kobe.
Yeah, Afro Kobe.
Afro Kobe was disrespectful.
That was Adidas Kobe. Cause you know Kobe was with Adidas. He was Adidas
before he was with Nike, yeah.
Yeah, so like that was Adidas Kobe. That was like that's when Kobe was like he'll come to the lane, dunk on you, talk shit, all that.
That's the one thing with Kobe, bro. Like nowadays, like these players, like they're good, but they be talking shit, but it's like they don't really be backing it up. It's like back then, like Kobe, he's one of those players like he'll talk shit to you and then like dunk on you.
Yeah.
So it's like, what you gonna say?
It's not even that. It's like because guys do that now. Like Ja Morant, you know, he's a big talker. He's not quiet. Mm-hmm. But what it comes down to is like, okay, cool, you've been talking, but like, are you in the playoffs every year? Are you getting to the conference finals? Are you getting to the NBA finals?
Right.
See, Mike, Kobe, they was doing that, and they was in the finals. You get AI, he did that. AI was talking shit to Kobe in the finals. Like AI, literally that year the 76ers played the Lakers in the championship. AI brought the 76ers there damn near by himself, bro. Dropped 42. He dropped 40 the first 2 games against the Lakers. And that was Shaq and Kobe Lakers. And AI, he was not backing down. He kept talking his shit, but he was backing it up. They didn't win the series. The Lakers won, but still.
You got to respect it.
You got to respect it. Like AI was like, nah, I'm here. Like, I'm here. So,
but nah, man, that shit's crazy. It's funny you say like how the NBA is now. Everyone like mentions it like when John Morant was getting that interview and the lady was like who do you fear most or whatever, and he said yeah, we got to go through Boston, but I'm good in the West. And now the West is looking like West is looking scary.
But I mean, Memphis is a playoff team, so all you got to do is play ball.
That's true.
See, that's the thing. You could talk your shit, and I respect it. I fuck with Ja. He's kind of like
I fuck with Ja.
You know, he's kind of like AI, but AI did the talking, and then AI backed it up.
Yeah.
AI was in the playoffs every year. AI, you know, he was breaking records. He was dropping 40, 50 a night. You know what I mean? He was doing it. So, and Ja has the same ability to do that on a nightly basis. But obviously we know, you know, it only really matters in the playoffs.
Yeah. Normal season stuff, it's like, okay, like, yeah, you've been balling the season, but when it gets down to it, that's when it really matters. The playoffs, the Western Conference Finals, and the finals. That's when it matters the most.
That's when it matters the most. So it's like, you know, we'll see. Memphis will definitely still be in the playoffs.
They'll definitely be in the playoffs for sure.
So what about like Kyrie and Luka? You like that trade?
Bro, I've been talking to my friends about that. Like, all right, let me get this straight. Like, Luka himself got himself to the Western Conference Finals.
Oh yeah,
himself could do that. We know what Luka's capable of. Now Kyrie in the mix, it sounds good. Now them going back and forth, it sounds fire. I gotta just watch it. I think people are like, oh my God, Luka and Kyrie, you know, that finals team. I mean, who knows? They might make it to the finals, but I gotta see it. I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket with that. I'm kind of more interested in that Kevin Durant Phoenix versus that Luka and Kyrie. I don't think Kyrie's the answer. That's what I'm trying to say. Kyrie's definitely a huge how do I say this? Like benefit for the team. Huge benefit.
Yeah. I mean, it's Kyrie. You know what he going to do.
Yeah, but I just don't think it's the answer. And I think people are giving off the intention that it's the answer for Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if it's the championship piece. Like we said, we've seen Luka get there or get damn near to the finals on his own. Mm-hmm. But is Kyrie a championship piece? That's we have to wait and see. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's definitely a good addition. When Kyrie's on the court, you know exactly what he's gonna do. I'm just hoping, whether he wasn't happy in Brooklyn or whatever, they had a falling out. I'm just hoping that this move to Dallas is all about basketball for Kyrie.
Yeah.
It's like, I know everybody's their own person, everybody has an opinion on and off the court, whatever, but at this point, it's like, bro, you're a superstar.
Just ball.
We know what you're gonna do on the court. We just want to see you ball.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
We're not really intervening in those politics and this and that and third.
Yeah. I respect it because nowadays it's cool that the players are able to voice their opinion.
Yeah,
and speak their mind on different political situations and stuff like that. Whatever's going on in the world, but when it comes down to it. Not to dumb it down because I don't want to make it seem like they're just basketball players. They don't do anything else. But it's just like on a year in, year out basis, like we want to see you play ball. Right. We want to see you in the playoffs. We want to see you cross people. We want to see you shoot threes, step backs, all that. That's what we want to see. Do that at the highest level on a nightly basis, and then you could go and say whatever you want. Yeah. But if like you're only playing 20 games, and the 20 games you go off, but then the team don't make the playoffs, and then you want to leave or this and that, it's just it starts to give us an opinion about you as a player. Right. You know what I mean? When obviously his game is undeniable. We haven't really seen anybody stop Kyrie since he came into the league. So.
Hands down, one of the best point guards of all time.
Definitely. So I mean, I just hope he's in a better space. Yeah. I hope he's happy. I hope he's ready to play ball. I want to see him and Luka make a run in the playoffs. I want to see what they're gonna do.
That's definitely a fire team. I feel like if they don't really, like I said, Kyrie's not the answer. He's a huge benefit for the team, but I believe that if they picked up in the future, if they pick up, one extra little piece or so, something somewhere, then we can start getting the motion. Just because I don't think Kyrie and Luka will be enough to get them to the whole thing.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion, though.
You got to put the coaching in there too, though, because obviously now the way the game is, obviously rotations and lineups change, and it's not like before where it's like the same 12 people, the whole season. Guys get switched out, get cut, moved up, traded, whatever the case may be. But nowadays, it may not seem like it, but coaching is I feel like coaching is back to the forefront of a lot of these championship teams, and Dallas has Jason Kidd, one of the great NBA minds. That's true. You got to put that in there. It's definitely, you got a couple superstars. I don't really know their whole roster. I know they got some other dogs on there that's gonna ball. Like they got JaVale McGee. He's gonna go out there, play defense, get rebounds, probably get you a couple blocks. And they got a couple other like swing players that is decent. But I think the coaching, the benefit of having those two type of players, and then Jason Kidd as a coach, because Luka basically plays point, and Kyrie plays point. And Jason Kidd's one of the best points ever.
That's true.
So
that's what kind of confused me at first. It's like it's Luka. He's probably one of the best players. He's one of the best players in the league right now. It's just like he basically runs. He's 6'9", but he runs point for the team. And then you're a great point guard yourself. I mean, they made it work anyway. It just kind of confused me in the moment.
The game is like positionless now. Like it used to be like point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. It used to be like that's your position, but these guys are so versatile now. Like
that's true.
You got 7-footers shooting threes. You got, you know what I mean? You just need 5 guys that can run. You need at least 1 or 2. You really need like 2 shooters out on the floor at all times. You need somebody who's going to get boards and play a little bit of defense. So, it's more of like your skill set versus like, this is my position. Like anybody can kind of play like the position, but it's like, all right, we need you to do this when you're out there. We need you to do that. That's true. Kyrie and Luka both being like great guards and sharing the ball, but also can score on whoever they want. You know what I mean? It's like a big factor. And Luka's not bad at defense. His defense is pretty decent.
His defense is pretty good. I mean,
Kyrie plays pretty decent defense on point guards, like people his size. He can't really switch off, but Luka is like 6'8", 6'9".
Yeah, he's 6'9", so he can play defense.
So he can also guard multiple positions.
That's true.
So that's a benefit. So like, it may be both of them out there. And, maybe Kyrie runs it a little bit more and then swings it to Luka, or they could switch off, vice versa. Because if you have either one of those guys on the wing, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So you got Kyrie on the wing and you letting Luka run the offense. It's like, bro, you got to still make sure you pay attention to Kyrie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
let me ask you, what you think about the Lakers? Like, what do you, like, I know we talk about it a lot. What do you think what would help the Lakers?
Right now or overall?
I'm saying, like
right now this season, or like...
I'm kind of
this summer going into next season.
How they're ranked in the season. I mean, I'm thinking they'll make the playoffs. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to just say overall. Just because this season right now, it's kind of like... I'm
not trying to be mean, but they're not even close right now.
Yeah, they're like 13. Yeah, 13.
So they have to get in that 10 range to even get into the play-in. Yeah. To try to get in. So
that's why I was saying, just what do you think be overall? Because this season for them right now is kind of not looking good for them.
I mean, the trade was it was beneficial. I think people are kind of sleeping on D'Lo. He's a good piece. He can shoot. He can share the ball. You know what I mean? The Lakers didn't have a point guard that can shoot. Mm-hmm. They had Russell and Pat Bev. Both of them aren't pure shooters. Like, they're NBA players. They're gonna hit shots when they're open. But D'Lo, he's pure. He can hit consistent threes. He can hit consistent mid range.
That was a good pickup.
You know what I mean? So that was a very good pickup. Malik Beasley is one of those guys that's gonna play defense. He's gonna get in your face. He's like, I compare him to like a Grant Williams, a Marcus Smarts. You know what I mean?
Like a PJ Tucker.
Kind of like that, like a PJ Tucker, Jay Crowder, somebody who he'll hit an open shot, but he's gonna play. He's in there really to play defense. Yeah, you know what I mean. So those two pieces alone, I don't really know the third guy that they got in the trade, but those two pieces alone are pretty decent. If AD continues to play well, which he's been doing since LeBron's been out the last like week and a half, and that's a big if, because you heard Reggie Miller. If AD size, that's 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So
that is a huge if.
Yeah, we don't really know, but like I said, if he's in there, and obviously you know what LeBron's gonna do. Mm-hmm. Because he's fighting a foot injury. That's why he's been out. They said it was a nagging. I think it was a foot injury. Yeah, it's a nagging foot injury that's like probably gonna linger throughout the season.
Oh shit.
So I mean, obviously when he's out there, it's still gonna be LeBron, but
it's not 100%.
He's not 100%. He's older now, but if the lineup is in D'Lo, AD, LeBron, a couple of other guys that's been balling, then I think they could make a push to get into the playoffs.
That's what I think, because like we were saying, like LeBron's at that, he's at that age now where obviously he's gonna give you 25-30. He's gonna give you 25-30. You feel me? Yeah. He's LeBron James, but he needs some guys that he can rely on, like an AD.
You can't run the offense through LeBron.
Nah, you can't.
That's what everybody's like getting.
Not anymore.
They're not understanding that. Yeah, he's LeBron James, but you can't run the offense through him. It has to go through AD, or it has to go through. It's basically has to go through AD. He's the next like superstar. D'Lo is he's good. He's a great player.
He's a good piece.
I don't want to say he's like a superstar. Like, he's not gonna go out. He dropped 27 or 28 his first game, but I don't know if he can do that every night. You know what I mean?
Like,
I don't know if he's gonna get you 25 every night.
Nah, I don't know about every night, but he has the
potential to.
Yeah,
but I don't know yet. We gotta wait and see.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, it's a sticky situation because LeBron, he needs help. That's basically what it is. Like,
this season is kind of up in the air. Like I said, they can make a run to try to make it into the playoffs. And then realistically, like, this summer is probably the biggest, off season for the Lakers, because they got to either give AD his money or he's gone. Mm-hmm. That's like kind of set in stone.
That's
Everybody knows
million.
that.
That's $200 million they can put towards somewhere else. $250 million, $200 million.
Yeah. But we were talking about before, LeBron takes these basically 2 year deals with a 1 year option. and he's basically getting like $50 million a year. Essentially, his contracts is like $50 million a year. So like, I was talking to somebody about this, and I'm like, I respect it. Obviously, we know LeBron doesn't really need the NBA money, but part of my question is like, bro, why don't you take a pay cut for a year? Take 20 this year and let the team go get somebody else or give somebody else their bread so that they can help you get a championship.
If you really, like you're saying, if you really care about the chip, why not take the pay cut? Like you said, LeBron's damn near a billionaire. I think he probably is a billionaire off the Nike deal or whatever, but he don't
need that NBA contract.
He don't.
Obviously, it's LeBron, and you're gonna give him whatever he asked for, but at the same time, on his side, and I don't know, I'm not there. I'm not Rich Paul. I don't know how the negotiations and everything work, but I know what they post when his contract comes out. Yeah. And it's like, maybe that money is not really affecting the rest of the money for the team. Maybe it's not.
Maybe not.
But still, Tom Brady took pay cuts.
Yep.
I think Kobe took a pay cut a couple times to get, like, when they got Pau Gasol and they won those 2 championships, he took a pay cut for them to go get Pau Gasol.
It's like, what are you valuing more? Are you valuing the bread? Are you valuing the chip? Yeah. If you care about the chip, like you said, take 25, take 20 this year. You're LeBron.
He only does 1-year deals anyway. So it's like, bro, you're gonna get you're basically getting a fresh bag every summer. It's
and you're LeBron James. So God forbid if you left the Lakers, you can get whatever bread you want because you're the best player in the league right now.
Exactly.
So it's not like, damn, if I don't take this 50 a year, I'm not gonna get this anywhere else. It's like, bro, you're gonna get that somewhere else. Just take the pay cut.
And I think that's what's gonna happen with AD. They're gonna obviously he qualifies for the Super Max, which is it's really gonna be like 220.
220, yeah.
So he qualifies for that. They were talking about like he's from Chicago, so he may go sign with Chicago.
That would be big.
So I think that would, but see, they just gave Zach LaVine that bag, and then now they're gonna have to figure out DeMar DeRozan's situation. So I don't really know, how that will work. If obviously they have LaVine locked in, if AD
Lonzo's still there, right?
Yeah, but Lonzo's hurt.
He's still hurt, right?
Yeah, he's messed himself up the last 2 seasons.
What happened? I forgot what happened.
I think it was a ACL tear.
Oh yeah,
I think he tore the same ACL twice.
Yeah, because he's been out for like what, 2 seasons?
So last year he played the first leg of the season and then he didn't finish, and then he hasn't played yet this season. Or I think he played like a couple games early and then retweaked some shit, and he's back out.
Because that's a good look, because you still got
they got
Lonzo,
other little pieces too.
You got Zach LaVine. Then say you put AD over there, but then
they got other little pieces.
Yeah,
they got other little pieces. Because that's the thing now with the league. Like I said before, you kind of know everybody that's on the team, but now it's like you don't necessarily know everybody. You know, like the big names, and then it's a bunch of other guys. But those other guys are still like decent.
Yeah,
you may not know their name, but like in a team setting, they're still like, oh, okay, he works with him. Yeah, that'll work. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see what they end up doing.
Damn.
But yeah, I don't really know about the Lakers' future and what's going to go on. I think LeBron's definitely going to leave. I don't know.
I kind of see that coming. I see LeBron leaving.
Like you say, he's trying to play with Bronny, so he may go wherever Bronny goes. He may go back to Cleveland and then retire.
Yeah.
So
I think he's
because Cleveland's a contender, and I think a lot of people are like not paying attention to that. Like, bro, he can just go back to Cleveland with Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland and probably try to go get one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, that's true.
He has that option too. So the way the league is now, guys really they create their own options because this summer Kyrie didn't sign with the Mavs. Like, that was a trade. His contract is still up this summer. So they're gonna offer him a contract, but he can go to Phoenix. He could go to LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He still has
the option. Up in the air.
He can still kind of do whatever he wants. So
yeah, that would be big.
Yeah, I think this summer is going to be a lot bigger than what people think. Jaylen Brown's contract is up.
Because the one reason why Kyrie left Brooklyn was because the bread, wasn't it? That was one of the reasons, because he wasn't getting for what he was wanting or something like that.
So I don't know the full details, but from what I heard was they offered him the bread he wanted, but there basically was a speculation in the contract that said you have to, like, you'll only get this amount if we get to championship. So that was the part that they like added in, where basically like he just wanted to re-sign, and then Ball, obviously they were hoping to get to the championship,
right?
But it was basically like a portion of whatever a portion of the bread they was gonna give him. He would only get it if they got to the championship.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't really like that.
Because that's the thing, like you're saying with AD, it's like even if they got Kyrie, it's like they still gotta give bread to AD. So it's like,
because Kyrie's contract is up, so I mean, who knows? Like I said, a lot of these superstars, like if they're really trying to get the rings and they're not, there for the bread, they'll sign small contracts or 1-year deals just to kind of see. I feel like that's the way the league is going to end up going. Like these superstars, okay, cool, I'll go play with him for a year. Let's see if we can get it right.
Like if LeBron
I'll go play with him for a year. Let's see if we can get it right over here.
Like if LeBron did the pay cut. Shit, you may not never know. Take 25 off and then give that to Kyrie and then add that. For me, you could probably work something out,
because it's a business at the end of the day. So
we're at the highest level of basketball.
Everybody talks about, oh yeah, the Lakers this, or yeah, they're gonna win. They got AD. It's like, bro, it's a business. They need more than AD and Bron. AD has shown that we don't know if he's gonna be on the court. LeBron's old and they have no shooters. It's like you could. Laker fans out there, I know they're going to come after me, but it's like you could fight it all you want.
You could speculate.
Y'all need some more pieces, and they got to make sense on paper.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Shit, we're going to end it off here.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
We're going to catch y'all next week, and this is The Flight Show.
We out.